Reacher Season 3 was a big improvement on Season 2, and these 10 reasons explain why. Reacher Season 3 is undoubtedly better than Season 2, and quite possibly the best season of the entire series. When the first season of Reacher premiered on Prime Video in 2022, it was immediately a major hit for the streaming service. Based on Lee Child's Jack Reacher novels, watching Alan Ritchson uncover criminal conspiracies all over the United States in the show has always been very entertaining. However, after a great first season, the general consensus is that Reacher Season 2 was not quite as good. Thankfully, the creative team behind the series addressed many of the aspects of Season 2 that did not work. Because of this, after the action-packed ending of Reacher Season 3, it is clear that the series is heading in the right direction. Hopefully, the upcoming Reacher Season 4, which will begin production this summer, is just as good, if not better, than the third season. However, before more news is revealed about the show's fourth season, let's take a look at how Reacher Season 3 is a big improvement on Season 2. While promoting the show's third season, Ritchson himself claimed that he wasn't happy with a lot of the action in Reacher Season 2. While it is surprising for a lead actor to criticize their own series, Ritchson was right in claiming that several action sequences in Season 2 were underwhelming. Therefore, to remedy this, Ritchson claimed that it became one of his main priorities to make the action in Reacher Season 3 as good as it could be. Ritchson and the rest of the creative team behind Reacher Season 3 undoubtedly topped Season 2's action sequences. The most notable action scenes in Season 3 are the forest massacre after Reacher escapes from Beck's mansion, the scrapyard gunfight at the beginning of the finale, and of course, the intense fight between Reacher and Polly. Overall, it is amazing that the creative team addressed Season 2's underwhelming action and made sure that Reacher Season 3 included several incredible sequences. In Season 2, Reacher had to take down Shane Langston, the head of security for New Age, the company that was at the center of the season's main conspiracy. Langston was definitely very merciless and would have stopped at nothing to achieve his goal, but he ultimately didn't pose a major threat to Reacher. Throughout Reacher Season 2, Langston continuously sent people to kill Reacher and the other members of the Special Investigations Unit, but his plans to take out his enemies always failed. The writers of Reacher Season 3 put in extra work to make sure that Xavier Quinn would be the best villain in the entire series. Because of these failed attempts at Reacher's life, Langston was never a very effective villain in Season 2. However, the writers of Reacher Season 3 put in extra work to make sure that Xavier Quinn would be the best villain in the entire series. Not only did Reacher have history with Quinn, which elevated the villain's threat level, but he was also consistently menacing towards Zachary Beck and his son, Richard Beck. Therefore, Quinn was a much more threatening villain than Langston. Reacher has always been a fan favorite among action series lovers, but after the slightly uneven pacing and polarizing character dynamics of Season 2, many wondered if the show had already peaked. Fortunately, Reacher Season 3 roared back with a vengeance, delivering a leaner, meaner, and more emotionally resonant story that re-established the show's momentum. From tighter storytelling to better villains, here are 10 reasons why Season 3 was a significant improvement on Season 2. 1. A return to the lone wolf formula. Season 2 experimented with a team-based dynamic, reuniting Jack Reacher with his old 110th Special Investigations Unit. While nostalgic, the group's setting diluted Reacher's lone wolf mystique. Season 3 wisely stripped things back, allowing Alan Ritchson's Reacher to operate solo again. This brought back the essence of what made Reacher Season 1 so compelling: one man against the system, using brains and brawn. 2. A better-paced mystery. Season 2 had a tendency to drag in the middle episodes, with too many subplots crowding the core storyline. In contrast, Season 3 delivered a tightly plotted, gripping mystery that unfolded at just the right pace. Each episode ended with a strong hook, driving the momentum forward without padding the story. The leaner plot made each twist hit harder. 3. A villain worth fearing. Tony Swan in Season 3 was a far more compelling antagonist than Shane Langston from Season 2. Swan's calm intelligence, government ties, and cold ruthlessness made him the perfect ideological counter to Reacher. Unlike Season 2's brute force baddies, Swan was a villain you loved to hate, and one who challenged Reacher not just physically, but intellectually. 4. Sharper dialogue and wit. While Reacher is never going to be a quippy comedy, Season 3 brought back the dry, sardonic wit that made Reacher such a memorable character in the books. Whether shutting down thugs with a one-liner or delivering grim truths to uncooperative officials, Reacher's verbal economy was as effective as his fists. Alan Ritchson's delivery nailed it. 5. More cinematic action sequences. Season 3 improved on the action choreography and staging in a noticeable way. From brutal hand-to-hand fights in tight quarters to larger set pieces like the farmhouse raid and train yard ambush, the action felt bigger, smarter, and more grounded. Reacher's fights were fast, believable, and carried real stakes. Every punch mattered. 6. A strong female lead in Russo. Serena Russo was a standout in Season 3, providing a strong moral compass and emotional layer to the story. As a former FBI agent turned whistleblower, Russo wasn't just a sidekick, she was integral to the plot, and more than held her own alongside Reacher. Their chemistry was subtle but effective, avoiding the forced romance route and focusing instead on trust and respect. 7. Reacher's past finally feels personal. One of the critiques of previous seasons was how little we really knew about Reacher beyond his habits and skill set. Season 3 fixed that by weaving in flashbacks and emotional beats tied to Reacher's upbringing and former cases. It wasn't overdone, but it humanized the character in ways the books often hinted at but the show hadn't explored until now. 8. More creative locations. Where Season 2 mostly stuck to industrial areas and shadowy warehouses, Season 3 took Reacher across a broader range of settings, from a rundown Texas border town to a mountain cabin hideout, and even a high-tech government black site. These changes gave the season a more adventurous, almost Western vibe, emphasizing the wandering hero tone. 9. Fewer flashy tech shortcuts. One common trope in modern crime series is an over-reliance on magical hacking and endless surveillance footage. Season 3 went back to basics, showing Reacher solving problems with deduction, observation, and old-fashioned grit. It made his victories feel earned, and the mystery more satisfying rather than being solved by a computer in 5 seconds. 10. It felt like a book again. Fans of Lee Child's novels immediately noticed how Season 3 felt more faithful to the tone and structure of the original books. While not a direct adaptation of one single novel, it borrowed themes and stylistic choices from fan-favorite stories like Persuader and 61 Hours. That balance of hard-boiled action, noir mystery, and emotional stakes made Season 3 feel like a proper Reacher story again. Final thoughts. A course correction that worked. Season 2 wasn't a disaster. It still had plenty of great moments, particularly in the brotherhood between Reacher's old unit. But it lost a bit of the spark that made the first season so gripping. Season 3 learned from those missteps. It trimmed the fat, raised the stakes, and gave viewers the Jack Reacher experience they were craving: intelligent, violent, principled, and undeniably entertaining. Alan Ritchson continues to grow into the role, and with the creative team clearly listening to fan feedback, Season 3 feels like a promise kept. If Season 2 was a